Hello everyone and welcome. This is Emily Kimmy with EMK Creations. I just wanted to do a quick video. You know, most of mine are quick and simple, but wanted to walk you through how I created this really pretty ombre green background to use for die cutting my pretty leaves out. I'm going to walk you through the products and how I did it. I had shared this on social media and had done a reel, but I know a lot of you prefer video where I can actually walk you through and explain everything. So two different samples. This is the one I had shared on St. Patrick's Day, and then I made this one for my reel. And so, like I said, I'm going to walk you through how I did it and all the products, because there's a few things that you could use that just make this a lot easier to do. So first you would need blends, and you could do any set of colors you wanted. Doesn't all have to be one color family. You know, you don't have to do an ombre look. You could do whatever it is you wanted. And then you find a fun die. So in this case, I used this really pretty leaf die from the, let's see, Nature's Symphony dies. I will say that as of today, which is what, March 18th, they are currently out of stock, but they are due back next week. So stay tuned for this, because these are all really cool, but I really like this one. So any really big, good, large die works for this kind of technique. The other thing I'm going to point out is using adhesive sheets when you go to do it. We have these great sheets that will turn your cardstock basically into, or your cardstock or any paper you're going to use, into a sticker. So when I did these and I die cut them, of course I'm not gonna be able to get my fingernail under there now that I've pulled it apart. I used this sheet. You put it on the back, you peel it off, put it on the back of your cardstock, run it through, and then this becomes a sticker. So these just go right on here, and you don't have to mess with glue, because especially with things like this, any of our glues, liquid glue, even using our tape runners with the seal, sometimes you'll end up tearing, because this is such delicate little stems in there. So this just makes it so much easier to do. So the other thing is to grab your piece of cardstock, and I just used white cardstock for this, the thinner one. If you want to put something underneath to protect your surface in case you go off the edges, you can. But really, there's no right or wrong to this, and it's just a very forgiving technique, because I'm going to tell you, don't overthink it. Don't worry about whether the lines are perfectly straight. You're just going to take it and you're going to start doing a couple of lines like that, and then grab your next color. And I was, for the most part, using light to dark, but again, there's no right or wrong. You can do it however you want, but like I said, you don't have to stress about whether your lines are straight, because it's all going to blend together, and then you're going to die cut it. And so you're not going to be looking at whether or not you had a perfectly straight line or not. And like I said, just keep going. You're going to fill the whole page with it. Although, depending on what you're planning to die cut, you could do just a small section. You could do a much smaller piece of paper. It really just depends. When I made this one, I actually cut one full out, and then I did a partial one off to the side here, so that I had this. And if you watch my reel, when I went to create this, I actually ended up tearing that little piece off, because I didn't want it hidden up there, so I tore it off and I just added it there. Again, it makes it rather forgiving to be able to do this that way. The other thing I'll point out is the sentiments. I use some of our ephemera, and here's my other tip of how to store these. Our CD cases, our classic Stampin, I need to look up, I'll put it in the notes what the actual item number is, but this is what our stamp sets were coming in. They are still available, and they are great for storing your ephemera and all these small pieces. In fact, I have a few different ones in here. I need to go back and sort them, because I have more than just the paper or the words in here. I have some of the other ones as well, but it just makes it a convenient place to store all of your pieces so that you don't lose track of them. And if you were like me and you'd been storing all of your stamps on a shelf, I can put it right in the same container, and then I can see them. And then last but not least, on this particular card, the other thing I used was this really pretty leaf background. It's this Paradise Garden hybrid embossing folder. So just so you know, it does have a die that will go in there, because it's the hybrid, which means you can at one time put a piece of paper in here, put the die in, put this in, and it'll run it through and die cut. So what it does is it cuts around some of those so that they stand up and are have kind of a 3D look. And then it was the perfect time to pull out these fun green embellishments. This one with the turtle set. So again, just an easy way to create a fun background that you can do with any colors using your blends. So I hope you'll give it a shot and try it and let me know what you think. I love hearing back from you. So until next time, happy crafting. Thanks.